ともなくやってくる。
キュートにキャットにスティッカー。ファイヤーファイヤー。プッシーキャッツ。フルバージョン。すが。
What's going on, everybody? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another review to the manga for My Hero Academia, where I will be talking about and discussing chapter 184, entitled JP Hero Billboard Chart. And this was an excellent chapter we got this week for MHA. The Culture Festival arc is done and over with. We are moving forward in the school year, and our brand new story arc is about to begin. And I gotta say, for this chapter, we got great world building. Old characters make a resurgence, new characters get introduced, and the art looked pretty damn good in this chapter, specifically on that ending section when we had the Hero Billboard chart revealed to us, the brand new list of the top 10 pro heroes. And I have a feeling that that is going to be the main topic of discussion with this week's latest chapter, because we see old characters on this list, we see new characters getting introduced, and it's going to be very interesting how people react to the heroes that are now in the top 10, because some moved up, some moved down, and some have come out of nowhere. So I am very curious how this is going to factor in to this brand new story arc moving forward. But that brand new top 10 list is not the only thing that transpired in this week's latest chapter, because we also come to learn about Eri and her role moving forward within the story of My Hero Academia. The Wild Wild Pussycats and Kota make a return in this chapter, which made me very, very happy, and kind of a coincidence considering where we are currently left off on in season 3 of the anime. So excellent planning by Horikoshi. And then we also come to learn more about Tokoyami and where he spent his internship at, which happens to be with the newly crowned number 2 pro hero Hawks. I will talk more about that character further on in this review. And then the last section to really dive into is with that very brief section with All For One, and them talking about and discussing how hard it is going to be to have him to return the stolen quirks to the pro heroes he took them from. So there's going to be some interesting things to talk about within this chapter. So without further ado, guys, let's start back at the beginning of this chapter and work our way to the Hero Billboard chart, because right at the beginning of this chapter, we can see that the seasons are a-changin' within My Hero Academia. November has come and gone, and the winter season is now here. We are in December, within the holiday winter season. Christmas is right around the corner, and I'm wondering if the winter holiday season is going to play a factor into this story arc moving forward. But the first major thing that we come to learn about is actually with Eri's character, and that she's being discharged from the hospital and is left under the care of everyone at UA, specifically with Mirio and Aizawa. And this, in all honesty, is the best move moving forward for Eri's character, because the hospital cannot take care of her forever, and her family is unable to care after her, considering that her mom abandoned her, her dad is non-existent, and her grandfather is in a coma-like state. So she needs to go to a place where they can care for her and help her learn to control her quirk. And the best two options that they had laid out in front of her was to either go into foster care or to be adopted by UA. And if she was in the foster care system and her quirk went out of control, that would just spell bad news, because there'd be nobody there to help get her under control. So I am really glad that UA made the move to adopt Eri, because if her quirk does suddenly go out of control and she regains that power, Papa Eraserhead will be on standby to keep her under control, which I am really glad that we are still moving forward within the story, and we will have Eri pop up here and there, because look at this panel right here with Hado messing with Eri's hair. She looks absolutely adorable with pigtails. So I am really glad that we are still sticking with Eri's storyline moving forward. But also during this section, Horikoshi is still teasing us with when Mirio is going to regain his quirk, to regain his powers, because what we learn with Eri is that her horn is still growing bigger, though slowly, which means that her power will eventually return. But the good news about this situation is that Eri is now at UA, a place to where she can learn to train and control her quirk better. So in the near future, when Eri does learn to control and master her quirk, there is still a slight possibility she can return Mirio's quirk quirk to him, and he can resume being a pro hero. But one thing I love about this section, particularly with Mirio's character, ever since he lost his quirk, he has still remained positive. He has been optimistic. And that really does go to show that his quirk really didn't make him an excellent pro hero. It's him himself. His personality made him an excellent pro hero. So I love getting to see that from his character during the ending of this section. But then we begin to transition into Class 1A, going back to their dormitories because they have some visitors coming to see them. And it's during this brief little section we learn about Tokoyami and his internship, where he spent it with the now ranked number 2 pro hero Hawks. And I gotta say, this is a perfect fit for Tokoyami's character. He has a bird head, Hawks has hawk wings. I am just curious what Tokoyami did at this internship under the guidance of Hawks. But then we have the reveal of who the visitors coming to visit Class 1A are, and we have the amazing return of the wild, wild Pussycats.
Pussycats!
And I absolutely love the fact that Horikoshi is now bringing the Wild Wild Pussycats back into the story. It has basically been 100 chapters since the ending of the training camp arc, and these two groups have not seen each other since that arc ended. And I gotta say, this lines up pretty damn well also with the anime, considering we just reached the ending of that arc as of this recording. But my favorite moment during this section is definitely getting to see Deku and Kota see each other once again, where Deku is just shaking Kota's hand. He's like, I love that letter you sent me. I treasure that letter. And Kota's trying not to fanboy too much, where he's like, yeah, whatever. But then Mandalay comes over and is like, hey, Deku, check this out. Look at Kota's shoes. And they look exactly like Deku's. They are colored red. Kota wanted red shoes. And I just love that fact that even though he is fanboying over Deku and admires him now, he doesn't want his fanboy-isms to show and shine through as he is in front of Deku. But I love Deku's response where he's like, oh, that's awesome. We have the same shoes. We match now. And you see this little smile come over Kota's face. I absolutely love this section because Kota and Deku, during that arc, it's one of my favorite arcs within My Hero Academia, and getting to see these two characters reunite, it just feels so good for me. But it also makes me wonder too, is Kota ever going to run into Eri? Because these are the two fans of Deku right now, and I would love to have a moment with Kota and Eri just fanboying and fangirling over Deku. That would be great. And even though I love getting to see this reunion between the Pussycats and Class 1A, we eventually come to learn the real reason as to why the Pussycats are coming back into the story and are stepping out as pro heroes once again. And it all has to do with the Japanese hero Billboard charts, because their ranking has dropped dramatically ever since they went on leave, not acting as pro heroes since Ragdoll lost her quirk. And since they took that leave of absence, their ranking went from 32 down to 411th. That is a dramatic drop in their rankings. But surprisingly enough, the Pussycats are positive about this, specifically Ragdoll. I love how positive she is in this chapter. She still has the same personality we saw her with back during the training camp arc. But the reason they're positive about this and the reason they're looking at this 3-digit number is like, wow, this is amazing, is all to do with their approval rating. People love the Wild Wild Pussycats and they are awaiting their return. So to honor that approval rating, the Wild Wild Pussycats are stepping back as pro heroes. Even though they are down a member as Ragdoll, she will still support them within the office any way she can. And then we reach the All For One section of this chapter. I love getting to see All For One locked up in the prison. It's nice to see him once again. But then this brings up the topic for discussion. Will Ragdoll ever regain her quirk from All For One to where she could return to the life of a pro hero? And right now, the possibility is slim to none for Ragdoll ever regaining her quirk, because for this scenario to work out, they would have to drop the defenses guarding All For One to where he could activate his quirk and possibly hand it over to Ragdoll. But who's to say in that instance when Ragdoll is standing right in front of All For One and the defenses deactivate, All For One could just activate another quirk that they have no idea that he has and try to escape from the prison. And not only that, he could try to kill Ragdoll in the process. So right now, this entire situation is iffy at best because there are so many unknown factors when it comes to All For One, because he has so many unknown quirks, they have no idea how many he actually has. So as it stands right now, All For One is going to remain under high security alert. No one is going to be able to get near him, and the possibility of Ragdoll regaining her quirk is slim to none at best. So I just wanted to explain that situation because there is no doubt in my mind All For One has the power to return the power to Ragdoll. It's just, would he actually do it and not try to escape in the process? So that is the entire section we have with All For One and the resurgence of the Wild Wild Pussycats. But the last section that we dive into with this chapter is with the reveal of the new top 10 pro heroes. And this is a big event going down right now because not only is this a new list with new people within the top 10, they are meeting in person for the first time. And this is the first time in who knows how long to where All Might is not present on this list. This is a new era we have reached within My Hero Academia for Superhuman Society. It changed once everyone learned about the true form of All Might, but now it is written on paper. It is written on the charts. All Might is no longer a pro hero. He is retired, and the new #1 spot is held by Endeavor. So I am very curious how this list is going to adjust over the course of this series because I can see many of these names shifting in and out as we make our way through My Hero Academia. But let's dive into this list, see some old faces, see some new faces, and let's see who is actually in the top 10 for the pro heroes. So at number 10, we have our dragon hero Ryukyu, and I love getting to see that she is still within the top 10. She dropped from number 9 to the number 10 spot, but I am hoping we do get to see a lot more of her moving forward within the series because I loved getting to see her work alongside Hado, Ochako, and Sue during the overhaul arc. So I am hoping that we do get to see more of our dragon hero Ryukyu. But moving to the number 9 spot, this guy is very interesting, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, but we have the armored hero Yoro Imusha. This guy right here is a veteran within the pro hero world, but what's interesting to note is that he used to be within the top 3. So All Might at number 1, Endeavor at number 2, this guy was at number 3. But the only reason he has fallen down to the number 9 spot is because we have a lot of youngsters, a lot of millennials in a way, entering the top 10 ranks. He is a veteran within the field of being a pro hero, but he can't keep up with these youngsters. But it's nice to see we do have this old timer still kicking in the top 10 spots. But then we move to the number 8 spot, and I think this goes without explanation. It's a washing machine as a pro hero washer at the number 8 spot. Enough said. At number 7, we have our Wood boy himself, Kamui Woods, now in the top 10. And this is wonderful to see because you really think back to chapter 1 when he was starting out as a rookie pro hero, making a name for himself, and you flash forward 184 chapters later, he is now within the top 10 at the number 7 spot. And you can tell there's a character redesign, his costume is a bit different, but I am very happy for Kamui Woods at the number 7 spots. And I also really do like the side note of Mountain Lady being interviewed by the press, and Mountain Lady is currently ranked at number 23, but all the press cares about right now is asking about the rumors of a potential relationship or love interest between Mountain Lady and Kamui Woods. And I think that's going to leave the fandom very, very happy because now they can immediately attach these characters together if they have not already been already. But then we move to the number 7 spot where this pro hero, there really isn't too much to talk about other than the fact that he's upset that All Might is not present. It's our shield hero, Crust. Don't know too much about him. He has a shield type quirk or something along those lines, but there really isn't too much to dive within his character. Hopefully we'll learn more about him as the series goes on. At number 5, we have our rabbit hero, Miruko, and I can already tell right now that with her assets, she is going to become very popular within the fandom. I can sense it right now. But even besides all that, I am very curious about this character because I want to know her personality, and I also want to know what her quirk or power is. Since she is a rabbit hero, can she jump very far? Does she eat carrots and gain some type of special ability? I am very curious about her character and hoping we get to see her later on in the story interacting with our heroes in trading. But then moving on to the number 4 spot, we have our edgelord himself, Edgeshot, the ninja hero. And I like getting to see him in the number 4 spot because he did a fantastic job during the Camino Ward operation. And it's just nice to see him within the top 5. At the number 3 spot, we have Best Genius, who moved up from the number 4 spot. And he is currently still absent, still recovering from his injuries that he suffered at the hands of All For One during the Camino Ward operation. So hoping for a speedy recovery for Best Genius. But now we have the number 2 hero being revealed. I don't think he was previously within the top 10. I think he has risen within the ranks. But here we have the winged hero, Hawks, and I like his overall design. He seems very cool, and this is the person that Tokoyami went under the internship with, which makes a lot of sense. Bird wings, bird head, it was a perfect fit for these characters, but I definitely want to learn more about this character. He has a cool design, hoping we get to see him during this arc and what he can do. And then at the number 1 hero spot, to no surprise, we have our flame hero Endeavor, who ends up walking out on stage with a brand new costume. So this right here, I'm excited to see the new look, but you can definitely tell that he is taking the words that he heard from All Might, but also rising to the occasion for Todoroki to heart. Because going back to that brief little mini arc we had with Todoroki and Bakugo helping out with those kids, we had some character growth with Endeavor during that arc, to where he's now aspiring to be a really good number 1 hero, to become a symbol of peace, but also to become a hero that his son can be proud of. So him actually changing his overall look, you can kind of see this as him turning over a new leaf and trying to push forward and become a better man and to become a better hero. But with this right now, you can definitely get some senses of death flags rising for Endeavor's character, because he's trying to turn over a new leaf. He's trying to rise to the occasion as the symbol of peace, but will he in fact be able to do that? Because I can definitely see a threat coming on to where the number 1 hero is needed and he cannot rise to the occasion. He cannot live up to what All Might was able to do, and he could suffer at the hands of this huge villain that ends up taking him out. So I am very curious where we are going to go moving forward. I like having the reveal of this new top 10 list of our pro heroes, but we are entering a new arc right now, guys, and I am very excited to see where we are going to go. So with that, guys, that is my review on chapter 184 for My Hero Academia. I thoroughly enjoyed this chapter, and I had a smile from beginning to end reading this chapter and getting to see the brand new top 10. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on this latest chapter. What were your positives? What were your negatives? And what was your favorite standout moment from this chapter? Leave that down in the comments below. And if you guys want to talk more about My Hero Academia outside of YouTube, feel free to follow me on Twitter, guys. A link to my Twitter can be found in the description down below. You can also find on my channel for reactions and reviews to Season 3 for My Hero Academia. But that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until next week, when we have chapter 185 of My Hero Academia, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, guys, go beyond plus ultra.